What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be kind of like my third day in Oregon video, because we were there for, 4 days, 5 nights, I think it was. But on the last 2 days, I didn't film too much, just primarily for two reasons. The trip was also not just a road trip, it was also a kind of like an anniversary trip, because me and my wife, that was our 2 years of being married. So it was kind of just like a chill few days. We just want to spend some time together. I didn't want to have a camera constantly on. I mean, there's a nice balance of when I feel like you should be filming and when you shouldn't be filming. And I feel like those days just needed to be some time for us. So definitely, it was a lot of fun. I'll show you some photos that I took and that I've got edited from those last few days. And yeah, we'll just talk about those. So it's going to be more of just me sitting in front of the camera talking about the trip and the photos and kind of like the memories and things like that. So yeah, let's get into it. And I'm just looking at the photos on my iPad. I will be putting them up on the screen when I'm talking about them, but just so I can actually look at them and talk about them. So on the third day of being there, we went to a waterfall. I can't remember the actual name of it. I'll put it up here somewhere so you know what the name of it is. It's a famous waterfall in Oregon. It's not very hard to get to. It's pretty easy. Depending on where you are in Oregon, it may be a bit of a drive because it is in kind of like, I'm not gonna say in the middle of nowhere, but it's the Umpqua. I'm probably butchering the name, but it's an Umpqua Natural Forest. So really awesome waterfall. You can get down to where the actual waterfall is and actually see the water. And get pretty close to it, and that's what I did. I chose to do that just because I wanted to get a different type of photo. I don't know if it's allowed, but you can get down there. So yeah. So with this one's really awesome. So this was a really awesome shot. I took a few different ones, but this is one of my favorites just purely because you see the movement of the actual water in there. So I shot this with my Fujifilm X-T4 with my 16 to 55 millimeter lens at 16 millimeters because that is the widest lens I have that I have ND filters for. So I did use my Peter McKinnon variable ND filter for that one. That was the 2 to 5 stop, and it got me this photo, and I really, really, really like this one. I took a few different versions of this photo, some with a little bit less foreground rock, but then some with some more, and this is the one I liked primarily. Now, I did take another photo of this same location with my 8 to 16 millimeter where I'm actually in there to show a bit of scale. I gotta retouch that one. I wasn't a big fan of how it looked, so I'm gonna redo that one. But I was really surprised that I was able to use this ND filter for this, because in the past when I've used variable ND filters, I was never able to get a good photo with it. So this filter is really good. I think it's really worth the money, and I'm gonna do a review on it in a different video, just kind of give you my thoughts and why I think it would improve some people's photography and videography. So I've also thought about doing maybe like a little bit of an editing tutorial video of like how I got these photos. If you do like these photos, please let me know in the comments that you like them, and we'll go from there, and I'll maybe make some. Maybe they're IG Reels or on YouTube. But yeah, so definitely one of my favorite ones right here. Unfortunately, we couldn't go down there with our dog because the actual little like path down there was a little bit steep, so my wife was very kind and very nice of her to stay up at the lookout portion of it and then allow me to go down there and get some photos. This one right here, it's not necessarily like my favorite photo that I took on the trip, but I definitely like it because it's one of those classic shots in the Pacific Northwest. I feel like is you get a drone up in the air, you go over some nice pine trees, and you take a top-down shot. Not going to go too far into this one just because everyone knows about these types of photos. Now, this photo right here, we decided to go on a hike on, I think, our last day or a day before our last. And we were kind of deciding between two different hikes. One was No Name Lake, which was like a 15-mile hike, and this one was like I think in total like a 5-mile hike. The reason why we chose this one, because the plan was to, after this hike, go out for dinner and drinks, because the plan was for after this photo was to go out for dinner and drinks. So we didn't choose to do the really long hike and be really tired. We woke up a little late, so things changed. But this one I really liked because it's more artistic. When we got to the lake, it was really, really foggy, and basically the whole entire way up the actual trail, it was pretty foggy, and then it got really bad once we got out of the actual like forest area and we were up more in the clearing at the top. But it was really cool. I feel like I got some really nice, actual like artistic photos. Now going back to looking at these photos when I was editing them, I would have really wished if I would have just like set my camera up on a tripod, ran to the other side, and like stood there, because I had a really nice yellow jacket on, like a yellow neon jacket, and it could have gave some color and some scale. I chose to not do that in the time frame because we weren't really sure if it was going to start raining. We had our dog with us. It was getting pretty wet, and I'm always trying to look out for my wife as well. So I never want to put her in any kind of danger or in any kind of like uncomfortable, situations. It was cold, so we were just trying to be quick and fast with what we were doing. This photo right here, this was actually hiking down from the actual lake, and I saw this path and I thought it'd been really, really nice. I like that there's a little bit of fog up in like the top portion of the photo. I love the Pacific Northwest because it's so green, it's so like just vibrant and dark and deep. And then you have the fog, which is going to just add some really, really nice like texture and just another element to it. But that's my wife down there. She's chilling. She's being the subject in there. Yeah. And I'll throw this one up here just because it's my dog. It's my dog, Jules. He is an amazing dog. He loves to hike. He loves to be on adventures with us. He is a trooper like no other. You tell him we're going on a 15-mile hike, he's down for it. Even though he probably doesn't know what we're talking about, but he knows we're going on a decent hike. This was actually on our way back to Arizona. We decided to take a little bit of a detour and go to Utah versus just going straight home. So we were at the Salt Flats where we actually stayed the night in Salt Lake City. I threw my drone up. I just wanted to kind of get a cool top-down shot of myself since I have that nice vibrant jacket, just laying down right there. And just got a cool top-down shot. Nothing too crazy, nothing too deep about this photo. And this one right here, this one was when on our second date going back, because we stopped in Salt Lake City and then we were driving back through the lower portion of Utah to get into Arizona. And I try to go to a national park every year, or at least 2 national parks every year. And this year has been kind of like a weird year. I've only gone to one, and this was Bryce Canyon. So unfortunately, with a lot of national parks, you cannot hike on the unpaved trails with dogs. And since we brought our dog, we couldn't really go on any hikes. So we chose just to do the lookout point. And I've done this when I went to the Grand Canyon. I loved seeing the vastness of the Grand Canyon. But when it comes down to like photos, I feel like you have to be there at a certain time. You have to have some nice clouds in the sky to get some good photos. So this one, I just chose to look at the more details because in Bryce Canyon, it's awesome. I love being there, but I feel like when you're at the lookouts, it's kind of hard to get like a nice shot. Plus, it was like midday. The light was pretty harsh, so I was trying to find some like nice details to shoot. And I had my 16 to 55 millimeter lens on. I used to have a telephoto lens, but I sold that. So I was looking at like the actual sides of the canyon, and I saw this. I loved the details. I loved the color in them. Now this isn't like heavily edited. This is a lot of like natural colors. I did do some dodging and burning to like kind of shape the light a little bit, but overall though, very, very natural. I love this one. I love just the layers and the colors and the textures in this. But yeah, that was basically our trip. I know this wasn't the most exciting vlog out there, but this is more of just me talking about the experience and talking about the trip. Yeah, we're planning on taking more trips next year. I mean, at this point in the year, it's not that we can't. It's just we both work in retail, so it is kind of hard, especially for myself, to get time off because I work in electronic retail. So Black Friday holiday season gets a little bit nutty and a little bit crazy. We have blackout dates, so definitely trying next year to travel a little bit more. Then also too trying to convert this, like not YouTube necessarily, but maybe a portion of YouTube, into a part-time job, and then also to bringing my photography more into a larger scale as a full-time job. That is the plan. That's the end goal. That is the aspiration for next year. So yeah, this 2020 was gonna kind of be somewhere around there, but things kind of got upturned and turned upside down quickly. and things didn't go the way we wanted to this year for me and my wife. But you know, we learn from challenge and change. We learn from the trials and hardships that life throws at us, and then we adapt. We go from there. But yeah, so that's going to be the end of this video, guys. Thank you for watching. I know it's not the most exciting one, but this one is just something fun. I wanted to complete the series, if you will, the vlog series of our trip up there, and just show you some photos I took. Now, I did take more photos than what I talked about, but those are just some of the favorite ones that I did talk about. I'm very picky when it comes to photos. Like, I'll take 100 photos, and out of those 100, I'll maybe come out with like 1 or 2 photos that I really like. Yeah. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching. If you did like this one, or even if you didn't like it, still hit that like button. It really does help. I really do appreciate it. If you are a subscriber and you've been here for a while, thank you for supporting me. If you are new here, please subscribe. It does help out as well. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your dog, tell your cat to subscribe. Make a YouTube channel for them. Subscribe to my channel. Yeah, that sounds good. With all that being said, guys, thank you again. I'll catch you later. Catch you in the next one. Peace out. Man, I did that whole entire video in one take. I really hope I hit record.